everyone, welcome back to Makiko Tech Media. So we're going to be talking about, is the Steam Deck actually underpowered? And we know the Steam Deck is around the power of a PlayStation 4 Pro, a little weaker than a Pro, but you kind of get the point. Apparently the Switch is going to be around the same strength, and honestly, my opinion is a lot different than everybody else. I don't think it's underpowered at all. I do think, though, we have to think and put things into account, right? The Switch, when it came out, the biggest game they announced for it was literally Skyrim. And that game was on previous consoles at that time. So it wasn't like, oh man, like that could have ran on the Wii U, right? Like that wasn't something that it was, oh, this is monumental. Like having Skyrim on the go was cool, but overall, I can't sit here and say that was just, the end all be all, like, oh dude, the Nintendo won everything just because they had Skyrim on the Switch, and they're gonna be a powerhouse throughout the rest of the 7 years of it being out. No, I think it's actually 8 years now. It's pretty dang old. But yeah, I think the Steam Deck versus the Switch and how long it had games being compatible that were AAA, Steam Deck lasted for about 3 years. And that's how old it is. So compared to the Switch, I think the Switch only lasted like, I can't even say it lasted very long. Back in 2017, there weren't too many games that were that heavy demanding. So, we got a good amount of anime games like Dragon Ball Xenoverse and games like that coming out. Of course, simpler games like Minecraft, which unfortunately that doesn't even run really well on the Switch. But yeah, we kind of got all those games coming out for the Switch in its early, years, mainly first party titles, which is really its like selling point. But yeah, that was it. There wasn't too many big games other than The Witcher 3. That was a pretty big feat because that one just came out on those ones, but that was it. And when that came out, it looked terrible, right? And that was around that time, 2018 and 2019, and that was it. That was its limit, right? Like, it was a great port, amazing they got it, but we get into the point when like Cyberpunk and games like that just couldn't run on it, and it's only got 4 gigs of RAM. Like they really weren't thinking, right, when they were thinking RAM specs. Like, oh yeah, 4 gigs? Yeah, I'm sure we can get all the AAA for 7 years. 7 years. All the AAA is gonna run on this bad boy. Yeah, no, it's not happening. That's why they're going with a Steam Deck spreadsheet of how powerful the Switch 2 should be is around this performance, which means, and with that idea is, hey, if Nintendo's thinking Steam Deck performance is good enough for them to be able to say we can run AAA games, then that just means a lot of these AAA games that can't run well on the Steam Deck just need to be optimized. And I think that with the Switch 2 coming out, it actually might benefit the Steam Deck because those developers that make a Switch 2 version might just also export those files and things and put them on the Steam Deck. Is that wishful thinking? Maybe a little bit, but it's something worth thinking about. I do think optimization for the Steam Deck is something a lot of developers sleep on, and they don't really do. And that's because apparently it's only 3 million units. That's not enough for developers to say, okay, let's make it Steam Deck verified and have it run on here. And it's mainly the newer games that have been coming out, like I think Warhammer and stuff like that. Those games I normally don't play. I'm an anime gamer, all right? I mainly play anime games. Sparking Zero doesn't run too well on here. You can it's playable. Definitely wouldn't recommend split screen on here with Sparking Zero. But yeah, no, I do think that the Steam Deck is its right power It's just developers aren't optimizing for it. Hence why, Nintendo sees its generation boost being as strong as the Steam Deck, which came out 3 years ago. So, of course, Nintendo's still on that trend of let's use hardware that came out 3 years ago, or power that's 3 years ago of performance. But yeah, do I see Switch 2 and Steam Deck like, from being a performance perspective, do I see it being a 7 year last? I think the Steam Deck has about till 2027 of like until there's a generation bump. But that's all dependent on AMD or Nvidia or whatever that they're labbing on right now. But I do think that the Steam Deck is definitely a device that is powerful enough that if it had support on all of the developers that make a game and publish it on Steam, yeah, this can be 7 years for sure. Most games are going to be running at 720, maybe a little bit lower, but 720 and running at 30 FPS isn't bad. Even like 540, like Doom was on the Switch. Like, if they can accept that on the Switch, no reason why people can't accept it on the Steam Deck, right? Biggest problem is like game like Warhammer, like you're getting like 25 or not even 25, like you're getting 20 FPS. You know what I mean? 20 FPS is playable for some people. You are mad lads, but it's not for me, right? I can't play a game at 20 FPS. That's just not happening. But yeah, overall, I do think that the Steam Deck is powerful enough for games that are coming out that are AA. And I think that it's going to be powerful enough for those for maybe even 10 years. Reason why I say that is because really, when we're looking at games and frame generation and the future of where AI and technology is going, as long as Valve keeps supporting this bad boy, we're going to be looking at, games still being able to run on this that are actually getting support. And I think that that's, ideal. Frame generation is something that really is upping gaming a lot. Now, some people say, oh, there's too much delay, too much this. But once that stuff gets fixed, guys, I'm going to be honest. This hardware, or even the Steam Deck 2 hardware, might be all you really need. As long as you can get 30, you can get 60. And that's kind of like the idea that I think the future of frame generation is kind of going to. But yeah, the Switch, it's good. But its hardware has been its biggest downfall, and that's why the Switch 2 is going off of this notion. And I think if it stays on this notion and it's as powerful as the Steam Deck, yeah, we are going to be seeing, performance off the charts. Like we'll be able to have more games, more things compatible. Let's just hope that transfers into here, because it kind of will screw over Steam Deck owners if the Switch is just running the same games with the same power as the Steam Deck, but running them better. And I see the Switch 2 only having 12 gigs of RAM. I don't think they're going any higher than that. That's the highest I see. I would love to see 16, but I honestly think that's probably the highest. But anyway, this is a bit more of a longer thing. I actually had more to say of this than I thought I did. But yeah, if you guys agree with me on the Steam Deck power, if it's powerful enough, or if you guys think that it's just wash compared to good old Legion, then let me know, or the ROG Ally. But yeah, other than that, comment down below. Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe if you like the content. And bye.